we realized was out of control and had some ideas, his mother and I. He finally came to us and admitted he had this problem. And then we had to pick a place for him to go. And that took quite a while. We were confused. We were wondering where we were going to find somewhere that he could go. We found a place in Colorado, and he spent 1.5 years in Colorado. He became clean. He had a job out there. He moved out of the halfway house that he was in, and then he got homesick. And he came home. And sometimes it's best not to come back to the place where this all started. Sometimes it's better to stay where you've found success and you've been able to be clean. So he came back and was fine for maybe 1 year or two, and then things spiraled out of control. He was always willing to get help. Several times he relapsed when he came back from Colorado, and he would try to make it right. He hated himself for being addicted and not being able to control it. It is a disease. He was doing very well, but he started using heroin again. So now he had a problem of being addicted to heroin as well as methadone, and now the amount of methadone he was taking, we had a very difficult time in finding someone who would medically detox him. We did find someone in Florida. He spent some time in the hospital while he was detoxing. He then went to a rehab center also in Florida. And when he returned, we set him up in an Oxford house. He had a minor relapse and went somewhere and detoxed again, and he seemed to be okay. But then he went to a hotel to get high one more time in Newcastle. And proprietor came and found him barely breathing and called 911. He went to Christiana Hospital, and when we got there, the doctors told us he would probably not make it through the night. He actually made it for 3 more days. While we were there, we kind of realized that, hey, this is, we were involved in schools. Maybe some people need to hear about what happened to Tyler, see the pictures of him when he's on life support, see the pictures of him when he's in his coffin, see the pictures of all of us standing around him and him not being able to say a word or do anything. Our last family photo. Maybe people could gain some knowledge and be aware of this disease and how it just brings families down, brings families to their knees. And the stigma that's around someone being an addict, not only does it affect the addict and prevent a lot of people from getting help, it has an effect on the family, and they're afraid to talk about it. They don't talk about it. When I go to talk to parent groups, not very many people show up. And I think it's the feeling that can't happen to me, can't happen to my child, talking about heroin and drugs. And I think I may have had that same attitude at one point. People aren't aware that this is a disease. They think it's a lack of character. And this is not about bad people trying to get good, it's about sick people trying to get well.